Hi everybody, I'm here at the bus stop and I wanted to share what happened today with y'all. So today I went to jury duty. So I've never done jury duty before. I got a notice when my daughter was about 1 year old and I was her caretaker, and I didn't have anybody else to watch her. So I was exempt at that time for that reason. So now my daughter is older and I was able to actually go today. So I had never done it, so I was wanting to see how that was. So anyway, I live in a small town, so it wasn't anything that exciting. It was a speeding ticket. The courtroom was very small. After they were done with, presenting everything, they didn't even really have a juror room. Usually the judge said that everybody would go to a juror room, but they said that they just don't have one. So we just kind of sat there and where we were sitting and just made up the determination of if he was guilty or not. So anyway, upon going to jury duty and just getting qualified, making sure that you're an adult, that you don't have a felony, those sorts of things. One of the qualifications too was interesting. It said the judge asked everybody whether or not they had any issues with placing judgment on someone, because there are some religions and things that don't, and people that might hold the belief of not placing judgment on anybody. And I didn't really think about it too far into it at the time, but I was like, I wonder if I am that kind of person that wouldn't place judgment on someone because, of the non-dual seeing that I had, and I really just see everybody as the same. So that's a question there, but I went ahead and did it because I do feel that I can place judgment, but in a different way. So I wanted to share that with you, what it means to place judgment on someone. So the person that was in the courtroom, the case was about speeding. It was a young man who was speeding over the speed limit, and they didn't really present a lot of evidence or anything. It was really just very basic. I mean, they didn't even describe if there were speed limit signs in the area, how many, where they were at, if he had passed one. They didn't have dash cam. They didn't have any videos of it. They didn't describe any information about the driver, like if he had past tickets, if he had any issues with driving, none of that stuff. So it was just the state against him. Well, upon just the few questions that they did ask him, the speed limit was 20, and they asked him what he was going, and he said that he was going 30-ish. And they asked him that question several times because he never said that he was going the speed limit, but he was claiming he was not guilty. So anyway, because of all that, he clearly, was going over the speed limit. So we did find him guilty, but we did have an option of making our own kind of punishment or whatever. So instead of what it would have been the $500 fine and a mark on his driving record, we decided to do a deferred adjudication so that wouldn't appear on his driving record or anywhere. And we did decide on a $300 fine because he was speeding. And everybody was pretty much in agreement with this, like right away. So I thought about this, and while you may think that someone that has had a non-dual seeing or really sees that we are all one, just expressing in different forms, while you would think that means no judgment, no consequences, that's really not the case. What it does mean is love for everyone, acceptance for everyone, and understanding for everyone in their situation. So when it came to this young man, judging him in this scenario was not hard at all, because he was clearly speeding, and when he was asked, he clearly said that he was going above the speed limit. So he admits that. And, you know, it wasn't like some big crazy crime, but what you want to do, you know, when you have this non-dual seeing, is you want to see everybody, you know, and see their situation and see, why did this happen, or how can I help that person to do better next time, or, you know, what is the highest potential for this person that we can do for them out of love. So one of the things I kind of paralleled it to was what it's like to be a parent. You know, a lot of times with your child, and even now, after this seeing, I still have to punish my daughter at times. I mean, I'm much more relaxed and much more easygoing with her, but there are times where, you know, you can't just let your child not take a shower for 3 or 4 days. You know, you have to be on them about certain things. Why? Because you love them and you want the best for them. You want the best for their health, their mental health, their physical health, everything, you know. So you do have to sometimes do something to kind of push that child to do that, and you do that out of love. You don't, if you didn't do that, that would be not caring, not loving. Not caring is no love there. So you do care, and that's why at certain times these kind of punishments or judgments happen. So there's nothing wrong with judging another human being, so long as you do it out of love and compassion. So that comes natural to me. It comes natural to most people. As far as the people that were on this jury, they were all very compassionate. So, you know, for the most part, that's pretty, you know, universal. Some people are harsher than others. Some people have bias. Some people have other things. And that's why they have that jury selection where they ask some questions trying to figure out whether or not there's anybody there that holds bias against, you know, something, or believes something very strongly. Because that can kind of sway things. But generally, a neutral person is pretty compassionate and loving and understanding. So the way I see it is that we are all one. We all are in different predicaments in our life of things that happen. Sometimes we may get ourselves into trouble, and how we respond, how people respond to us in that situation can really affect how we turn out from that. So in giving this young man deferred adjudication, so it doesn't show up on his record, that was a sense of compassion and love there, that, hey, let's give this boy a chance. He was a young man, let's give him a chance. He'll most likely learn his lesson from this instance, and it won't happen again, and he won't be marked for it for life. So that was the compassion there. Then the other part is, he is responsible. He said he was not guilty, yet in the trial several times he did say that he was speeding. So it's clear that he's guilty. So in that case, we didn't give him the whole $500 fine. We gave him $300, which is still a lot, but it's still, you know, something manageable. And so that's how it went. But when it comes to judgment, it's completely okay to judge whatever arises. We have no control over. But, you know, just in my own heart, after having this non-dual seeing, I realize I'm not making any of these decisions, but it sure feels like I am. It sure feels like I'm living this life, and I accept it fully, because this is all that there is currently for me. I know that there's a lot more. When I die, there'll be another thing. Excuse me. There'll be other things that may happen, that I might, you know, now be in a different form, or who knows, you know, and all of that is unknown. But there is a sense of love there, and that sense of love extends to everyone. It's not just to me. Of course, it all really starts with self-love, because when this is realized, you realize how much you are loved. Like this form, you feel the love as for you. And then the next step is you realize that's the same for everybody. So that love is extended to everybody. That compassion is extended to everybody. But sometimes there has to be a little bit of harsh love, or tough love like they say, and that is real love, because you want that person to grow from that. Okay? But you're not judging them. You're not saying, oh, you're a horrible driver, stay off the road, take his driver's license away, that boy is irresponsible. No, none of that. It's just, okay, let's listen, and this is all that happened. Okay, well, let's not mark you for that, but you do realize that this is, you admitted guilt. So these are the consequences according towards our laws here. So we can't bypass all those laws and everything that is already set up here in this life. That is the way it is. We can't escape life. Life is it. This is it. You can't escape this. Having a non-dual seeing does not let you escape from this. I still have to do everything. I still have to go to jury duty. If I was the one speeding, I might have to go to court. So that's just, everything is just what it is. What's happening, that's all it is. It's very simple. But there is this sense of love and compassion towards others. And I thought it was interesting how when the judge asked, like, is there anybody here who cannot hold judgment over somebody? I hesitated a little bit, but then I realized I can hold judgment over someone if I do it through love. So anyway, the bus is here, and again, this is not something that I'm even doing. It just all happens, but this is the way it happens and unfolds. So I wanted to share that happening with you today. Thanks for watching.